Are we having fun yet? Yes, we are. Welcome to the Kingdom. I'm Andy, and this is Jace, Hannah, and SNUTT.
What's up?
Hello.
Hi, I'm a Jace.
Sorry it took so long.
I'm SNUTT.
My webpage crashed, and I couldn't see what people were saying. So, loaded that first. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so
That's it. Thanks for coming, everybody.
That's it.
that was
Okay,
great.
let's go.
That was great.
Thanks for stopping by, folks.
Yeah.
It's my life.
Later.
Okay, so I guess the first question I want to know, especially from Jace here, is how much glee, personal satisfaction did you have knowing certain things were in a certain update, and no one else knowing but you and a few other people in the entire world?
Honestly, none. it was nice at the time of release. It was like it was very relieving, and it was really nice to see a lot of people were happy, of course. But the whole me knowing and others not, and keeping that a secret, there's no fun in that at all.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
We hated it.
Yeah, some of the trolling. Yeah. There are moments where I'm having fun with it, but I'm trolling and I'm having that kind of fun because it's that or be sad. Like
there's only two modes.
Yeah, two speeds.
I mean, yeah, we wanted to tell everyone so bad, but of course, you know, some things you can't.
Okay, so well, I should have said this first, but thank you, all three of you, for willing to come onto my channel and talk to me, especially all at once, because you know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
It's,
willing to go on all at once.
I mean, it takes a lot to convince me to, you know, be in the same room with them. So this was a good solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Like we all get along pretty well. Like
We
before
do.
the stream, as you've seen. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm totally gone blank. You know this is going to happen right now. Trying to figure out conversation to have.
It's all good. It's
You
all
got
good.
this. You got this.
Oh, I've totally gone blank. This is terrible, guys. This is terrible. Okay, back on track. So, I guess we'll go Satisfactory. I was trying to think of all the stuff I had for non-Satisfactory. I wrote a couple down, but I've lost that particular list. So,
Oh no.
terrible. I don't know. I probably deleted it when I was working on it last time.
And you're still more prepared than any of our fucking Coffee Stain streams. They're
Well, you know.
literally wrap them together in like the last half hour before we go live.
Yeah.
I mean, like the one we did just before launch of Update 3, like that whole segment where we were all there. I had no idea what the fuck I was getting into. Like,
Yeah. But SNUTT was the showrunner, so he had a
master,
vague
yeah.
idea. He did a really
Yeah.
good job, by the way.
He had
Holy
a
shit.
vague idea.
he had a big idea. We had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
We just went along, and it worked out.
I think it was mostly there was so much shit to set up, so I wasn't that good at like preparing everyone for what's going down.
And I mean,
yeah.
honestly, it worked out fine. And
Yeah.
I think, you know,
That's
it's one of those things like we'd never done that before, so of course no
Yeah.
one's gonna know what the heck's gonna happen. So
Yeah, but that's also part of the experience. That
Yeah.
everybody comes in black or blindfolded.
Yeah. Someone's saying that you're a bit low compared to us, and I think so as well. You're kind of
Yeah.
more quiet to me than Hannah is.
you're just saying I'm loud, aren't you?
Who are we talking about?
Yeah, but maybe I'm allowed to.
SNUTT,
Like SNUTT, you are.
audio-wise, you're
Yeah,
a
it's
little
not
bit
as
lower.
low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you not
Then
turn me
everyone
up in Discord or something?
I have no idea. if I
You're
can-
already at a 200% for me.
All right.
I don't know. There's not much I can do, but I can try. If I flip them.
No, I can
Okay,
do a
guys,
lot
I'm
of
going to
stuff.
change a little bit. Give me a second. Let's see. Can I modify anything here?
Hmm.
Nope. I can just add you. and
You're
that's
right,
it.
Panacotta.
User settings.
What, you don't like my bare
No.
wall?
You like my bare apartment?
Yeah.
You can't even see
Jeez.
behind me. Okay, so for me,
That's why I
for
have a green
me,
screen.
the interest day happens. I am, of course, I have a late shift for my work, so I don't even get to see you guys do your streams ever. It's one of the low points of the fact that you guys stream on that day is because
It's for the better.
I wake up slightly before I stream, which means you guys have been finished streaming for maybe an hour and a half. I think. So I don't get to see all the fun awesomeness until later, and then go, oh, wish I was there at the time.
Yeah.
But I know
Because
that.
we're streaming about as late as we can, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I saw that, and I watched the preview, and all that stuff happens, and I was perplexed, and realized that is the reason why you wanted everyone to start from scratch, because all power goes through the pipe.
Yeah.
I mean, it changed the game so much, honestly. And like, yeah, the fact that if we wanted to integrate pipes, we knew it had to be part of this whole big rebalance because it would change everything if we wanted to properly do it. So yeah, doing the rebalance was both necessary and just the ideal time, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
If we're gonna break everything, just go out with a bang.
just do all of it, like all the shit that would break the game, just do it all at once, which made this update as huge as it was. So yeah.
But it was also partly like a thing that we wanted this update to be fresh and like be a big thing and give like all the players that have been with us for a long time feel like, oh yeah, it's really refreshing, it's worth coming back to. And like rebalancing the game was part of that as well. Like pipes obviously broke a bunch of like balancing issues from the get-go, but even without pipes, there was still like we still wanted the game to feel a bit new and fresh and like have changes so that it would be extra worth it for people to come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for I guess a self-promotion thing, I did do a thing on pipes because I couldn't figure them out until I figured out one or two things that you needed to know about them, and then I made a video on it, so you can check that out on my channel. If you're having problems with pipes, it's just basically it has to deal with flow and height. That's it. Once you figure that out, pipes actually become really fun.
That's a bit of a learning curve, that one.
Yeah, I've had some people reach out and be like, oh, these pipes, they're so shit, I don't know how to make them work, they're not working properly. And then I just link them a tutorial and they're like, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that until I figured out that you had to put the flow, like the pump, at the height, the top of whatever pressure you're at. Until you figure that out, you're like, it's not working. I put like 30 right after each other, and it's not working, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just follow the diagram that I found on the Discord from.
Yeah, there's a really good, like, kind of like sort of like tutorial, just on one page, just like how to fucking deal with pipes, because they do complicate the game a lot more. So like the difficulty has definitely increased, I feel, with just setting up constructions, and like getting to coal power is one. You need to set up a whole new power system. Two, you need to learn how to use pipes at the same time. So it's like a big leap of difficulty there, I feel, which I think is very interesting for a lot of people who already know the game, and it also makes the game so much more layered.
And welcome everyone who's just came in. I see we just jumped up like 5 people in the last few minutes. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, I guess, Satisfactory for a little bit, and then we'll probably go a little personal again after that. But
sure.
So I guess we'll go through. What was your favorite thing that you've implemented, and did you have any hand in implementing it? I'll go with Jace first.
Implement?
He doesn't work on this game.
Well, he could. If he
Yeah, I
had
wasn't
nothing to
programming
do
much
with
on
it, he could still have a
Yeah,
favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably just the vehicles in general, getting them to work. That was probably my favorite thing. But if I were to say with like community management stuff, I don't know, some of the biggest. Oh, my favorite thing. All right, I'm just gonna go and say it's a community manager thing. My favorite thing was the 2018-2019 rewind video that I made at the end of
yeah,
last year.
that was
Yeah.
really nice.
Like I go back and watch that every now and then, and it is one of our least watched videos. But I love it to death. I love it so much. It makes me smile every single time.
It's really nice to see back. Like I've watched it more than once as well, just because like it's just nice. It feels nice just seeing.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, it's nostalgic. Yeah.
Like all the things that happened to make all those videos.
Mm-hmm.
All the silliness that you don't see in the video.
Yeah.
Which is, extra.
Yeah. Yeah, what's in the video is just scrape the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. That's video stuff. What about you guys who
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
work on the game?
I don't know about that. I feel like you worked on the game more than I have.
I have, yes.
So like
Okay, Hannah, what's your favorite part? Or do you have one? Do you not play?
Oh.
Do any of you guys play your own game? Here's a big thing. Have you guys played Update 3?
Of course. We have to play our own game because we need to test all the shit that we put in there.
I don't.
And we do. Jace doesn't count. He's not a developer anymore. He doesn't. Whatever. No, but we do a lot of internal play testing before we launch updates like this because we need to bug hunt. We try to get all the worst ones out before we launch, but of course we can't catch everything because we're just a few people. We're a small studio, but we try to get as much as we can just in a few days of like a lot of testing, multiplayer, single player, all that kind of stuff. Balance, like make sure that the balance is nice. See if people have feedback to each other for each other's work and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure. It would be advised to play test your own game. As for my favorite edition, that one's really difficult. One thing I absolutely love about this new update is the sliding. I fucking love the sliding. It makes it's like it makes it so much fun, and especially combined with the dunes and the Dune Desert. I love it. And the Dune Desert has been my baby for a while now, so getting that one pimped up a lot is really nice. Although it was a horrible process to get all that area in this update because it was huge.
I'm loving it.
But it's nice to see what it turned into. So
I have my nice, awesome waterfall base in your little waterfall.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah.
it's also such a nice touch with like Simon's added all those like cool VFX stuff with like the dudes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It helps so much.
And
Yeah.
the footprints and all that stuff.
I was hammering on that for weeks because I was like, we need footprints because it's such a small thing with a huge impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah.
Simon's actually so good at what he does.
He is. He really is.
Oh, he made a thing recently that we won't speak of, right?
I think
You know what I'm talking? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think it's in the build.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not sure, so I don't want to say anything.
We won't say it, but it's.
But I think it is.
He's so good. He's actually so good. Like we take the piss out of him and say that he delays everything. Obviously he doesn't, but it's like like we say he's evil and he delays everything, but he's the complete opposite of everything we say. He's super nice and
He's the sweetest
really
guy.
good at what he's doing. Yeah. And like really good.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Snut, do you have a favorite thing or have you
did?
either you did or just you played it and you were like, this part
Oh
is
no,
awesome.
Simon's in the chat. Simon's in the chat.
Yeah.
Take back all the praise.
Wait, did he hear?
I think so. I think we're in trouble.
I think my favorite thing that I did was the mass dismantle feature because
Mm.
that was something that I did in like 2 hours. And it was live. I did it live on stream. I implemented the whole thing live on stream. and people have been praising it so much.
Oh, I love that.
And I can't go back and not like. There's a bunch of stuff now. Like Gafgar added the pipette thing where like you can click on buildings and changes your hologram to that building. Can never go back playing the game with it.
Nope.
I feel like those quality of life things are super important. Like I've done a bunch of like super complex like network solutions and whatnot that took like half a year to implement, and I'm more proud of the fucking Masters method. So yeah, I think that's probably my favorite. But the sliding is really good.
It's really good.
Okay, so
Was it Stefan who made those?
Yeah, I think it was Stefan who made that. Yeah.
Shout out to Stefan.
Yeah.
So here's a good question for you guys. Who actually decided, hey, we need to put the Cybertruck into the game so that people may enjoy this awesomeness?
So it all began when it's not a Cybertruck, by the way, it's a Cyber wagon. All right.
I'm sorry.
Let's get this straight. Completely different vehicles. So like when the Cybertruck was revealed, like it was like over the night, we woke up in the morning and we were like, oh boy. And Simon was like, I'm already making it. And then Christopher, our animator, is like, I'm going to rig it up. And then like Stefan, our programmer, was like, I'm going to put it in the game. And then I was like, I'm going to film it. And then so in about 4 hours total, like approximately 1 hour each. And I finished it 20 minutes before the pipe stream, which is where I revealed it, the Cyber wagon. Yeah, we just got it there. Now, I actually don't know who decided to put it in.
I don't know. The first time I heard about it was from Tim. I think it was Tim.
Because I didn't know anything about that. Yeah.
I mean, he kind of, at that point, was also very much deciding what would be in the game anyway. Yeah. So I don't know if he was the one that came up with it or the one that endorsed it, but I heard it from him, and then I told Jace. Because I was like, dude.
Yeah.
It's it.
I like how this rumor spreads around the office. Yeah, it's like design decisions of the game. You don't communicate it. It's like, yo, did you hear? Stefan told me that Bigger told me that, whatever. That Cyberwagon's gonna be in the game. I was like, oh really? Yeah. Don't tell anyone that I told you. Yeah, that's how it works at Coffee Stain. That's why we don't know what time the release dates are and everything.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my informant to get back.
You get 5 different dates.
Ash knows is when we know.
Yeah. Cyberwagon's great.
Okay, so guys, I guess you can try to. I do have some questions I'm gonna try to get from you guys too, out there in the stream. I know I missed a whole bunch and I apologize, but the one I keep seeing, I don't know if it's the same person or not, but mod support. They still want to know about mod support. I guess, is it in the Pipeworks? And
it's gonna come out of
Pipeworks.
Pipeworks, yes. Now that Pipes are in the game, you have Pipeworks. Here we go.
All right. God damn it. I think there's not been much movement on that yet, since we wanted to dedicate our time to dedicated servers first. However, that isn't going as it's not done, right? It's not going as quickly as we thought it would. So basically, there's no news on that. Apart from that, yeah, we want mod support, and pretty sure we're going to put it in.
Really
I'm pretty sure we're putting it in. We're just not there yet.
Yeah, we are working on ways to make it a bit easier for people who are currently modding the game to be able to sustain them a bit more. Because right now it's a lot of guesswork for them making stuff. But yeah, mod support would 100% make stuff skyrocket. So implementing new stuff.
Absolutely.
Fedicon is saying, just tell the truth, Jace. I am like, dude, don't know. No one does.
No.
Yeah, no one knows.
Okay, so
I think that's
okay.
one of the most frustrating things for us when people like don't believe us when we say that we don't know, like with the Steam release, like we don't know, we have no idea, like an idea, but like we actually
Literally,
don't know.
not at all. No.
And people are like, no, they're of course they can't say so the Steam exclusivity, blah blah blah. Like, no, we legit don't know. Like, it's everything is happening as we're working on that.
There's not a soul on the entire planet that knows when the Steam update is coming.
Yeah.
Nope.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
About
like,
everything we're doing.
no one
We're telling
realizes that you have to jump through I don't know how many hoops in order to actually get it onto the system in the first place.
There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but I think a lot of studios would be like, they wouldn't reveal stuff like that until they have a better picture of like, okay, this is what we have, and we're gonna put out, and this is how much work is left, and then we put out an announcement saying like we're gonna be on Steam, but we're like, no, we know now we're gonna be on Steam, so let's just say it. Why keep it a secret?
Yeah. So like I get like a lot of people whenever I say things kind of like that, where it's an announcement of, in a way, an announcement, and people are always like, oh, cool, announcement. So I don't know anything. I'm like, well, you do know more. You know that this is the state, right? I could have just shut up for another month, or I could have just at least kept you up to date, right? So I think that's more important, because I think people get sort of antsy, and rightly so, when you just keep them in the dark just because you don't know for sure. But I'm pretty sure for all the big things, apart from pipes, we've been as forward as we can possibly be. There's a lot of things that we literally could not say earlier, either because we weren't allowed or because we didn't know. So,
yeah.
Okay, awesome. What we see here, more. Let me see here. Does anyone have any more questions? Also, and I have a few things. Here. How about this? I have a list of things that I've put on your Q&A site. Whether they got upvoted or not, I haven't actually checked. But here's some of my suggestions that I want to get your guys' feedback from on, is this a good idea or not? I'm just curious. One of the big things I would love to see in the game is being able to favorite item slots. So I love being able to hit the, deposit all button, but I don't want my Blade Runners to get out of my inventory and have to pick them back up
I see.
again. Or fuel or whatever it is.
Yeah, like things... sort of like locked slots that when you do this to all blah blah, it won't get taken.
Yes, so you're able to
I think there was something like that in the idea mail at some point, so that might actually happen. I don't know. I have no idea what UI is going to be up to, but something like that was definitely an idea that was being bounced around. So
the discussion that we're having amongst the programmers right now is that we probably want to review how the equipment system and all that stuff works in general, because there are a lot of like different problems that exists with the current system with the slots, not with like you're not able to like pick fuel for your chainsaw and stuff like that, and it's hard to switch equipment, and like you say, like when you start equipping stuff and you want to move them between containers, they don't show up in your inventory, blah blah blah. There's a bunch of different problems, and like we need to take a step back, I think, and look what we can do. To like kind of solve all the problems that exist right now, rather than trying to like add new stuff on top of it, I think. So I think that's the current discussion we're having right now, whether or not we should do that, or if we should ad hoc fix certain things and be like, yeah, it's good.
Okay. So, any chance of having, like, I do love the fact that we technically got another thing for our awesome trains, which I'm full tilt into trains right now in my playthrough. I've actually done a cloverleaf intersection just to see if I could do it.
Cool. And can you do it?
Yes, you can. I have a clover. It works perfectly.
Nice.
I was so hyped that I went off into a section and went, okay, I'm going to have to turn right and left here. So, let's use a standard cloverleaf intersection and see if it works. and I finished it off stream because it took forever to do. But yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Cool.
So, any other chance for having any other cars that may or may not be practical?
I don't know.
Wow,
to me,
thanks.
People are asking for a skateboard now.
Skateboard?
Yeah, grind those rails.
Oh,
Just
Yeah.
grind the rails. All from beginning to end. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk.
what happened to the hoverboard?
Skate 5.
Skate 5.
Yeah,
Wait,
Skate 5.
no time for Skate 4.
No,
Skate 5.
that one got dumped.
Uh,
We're in the
I
future.
don't. I have no idea. I don't think so.
No idea as well.
oh,
Like
No.
that's.
We're so.
I'm not
fucking
sure I'd be involved in that process either, because.
Yeah, we're fucking terrified of adding vehicles. I think because of how fucking expensive they are in performance-wise.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, I feel even the factory card was like, okay, let's do it. It's fun.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a plan for a lot of trains in my thing, so I'm going to find out how well my computer runs very shortly.
Nice.
All right. Good luck with that.
I know. Another thing I would love to see is, since you guys decided that you're going to up the creature game, as it were. Seeing like I find creatures inside my bases all the time now, and turn around the
Yeah.
corner, and you're like, I'm gonna go change the belt. Okay, I'm gonna fight this hog, and then I'm gonna change the belt.
Hey, Daniel.
So my question is, quick saves.
Wait, can I just real quick? Is that Daniel who I studied with, Strum, or is that someone else? Because there's a lot of people.
Very possible. I don't know if you did, but.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Creatures.
Yes. Quick save. So I want to know if there's gonna be
Honestly-
we can get a quick save so that you can quick save before you're like, I'm gonna go try to take on this.
Would be nice.
Epic
I think
hog.
that would, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not, but maybe there's a good reason why not. But yeah, that's something that might slip in an update in the future.
Well, here's a
No
good
idea.
question. I have no idea what this means because my coding is very limited. But can you make FG subsystems more dynamic? First of all, can you explain to people like me what is an FG subsystem?
A subsystem is FG subsystem. Like all the stuff that we put in the game in code, we always add the FG in front of it. So it's a subsystem that was developed in our version of the game. FG meaning factory game.
Okay.
It's an abbreviation. A subsystem is just like a system that runs in the background of the game and manages some aspect. For instance, the foliage subsystem, which manages that you can pick up foliage in the game. Or there's like music manager subsystem, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
etc. etc.
Oh, okay.
Making it more dynamic, I have no idea how we would be able to do that right now. Because all subsystems are created for their specific purpose. So, and they're all deriving from Unreal Engine's default like system. Yeah. Yeah.
Subsystems, am I right?
Am I right? What about that
Subsystem systems.
attachment system, Jace?
Refactor the attachment system.
Yeah, that's an old classic one.
Yes, and the old classic.
Can you explain that real quick, or like explain the joke? I guess.
Okay, so the joke with the attachment system was, I mean, there wasn't really a joke. It was just like there was a task that I had to refactor the attachment system. The attachment system is something to do with weapons that are attached to you, and then equipment. And on the back end, there are two different kinds of data structure thingies. One gets sent over online, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, it's weird. So I had to refactor that, and it was shit and really boring and hard. And then so I made a video. There's a video on the Coffee Stain site, one of my earlier ones. I think it's like maybe my second video that I ever made. And it's called just like a day in the life of a programmer. And yeah, and it's just a skit of me being a programmer for a day. And it's a lot of Just a lot of like, if you're a programmer and you watch the video, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
And it's fun because that video was when Coffee Stain was looking for a programmer. And that was when I got hired.
Yeah.
That was like the ad for that.
Yeah. So that was my ad to get SNUTT hired. Rob's like, I understand. Tomer Lem, I'll just answer that question. I saw the mouse before as well about Goat Simulator. So Coffee Stain Studios hasn't worked on Goat Simulator for a very long time. Coffee Stain North took it quite a few years ago, and that's it. So like, I don't know what's happening with Goat Simulator. It isn't our thing anymore.
Okay. Well, they also want goats in the game, right? Want to put goats in the game too?
I mean, we could maybe put an Easter egg or something. Maybe.
How do you know
there's already?
Well,
Is there
There's
already?
Easter eggs in there.
Well, here's a good question for
Let's see.
Hannah. Hannah, my big question for you. I spent 4 episodes, I think, looking for something,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and people kept telling me it was in one location, and I was unsure that they were knowing what you were talking about. So here's my
Okay.
big question for you. North, south, east, or west of the map? Can you give me
West.
a little bit better? It's west? So I was in the right area. Okay. I was in the west of the map looking, but I wasn't finding it. Okay, just so you guys know, we're looking for the fabled, rare Doggo Cave.
Yeah.
And
wanna
I haven't found it yet.
I can show you where it is, Snut, if you want.
That'd be like, I wanna see-
Spoilers.
I'll just open the engine and find it.
Yeah. Just search for the lizard dog response. And
So then I have to
Okay,
work.
so at least
for
I
open
have a
that.
general idea for when I start doing that again. Here's a question. One of the only thing that's like bug related that I find slightly annoying is Blade Runners and hypertubes. The fact that you now have a rudder, so that basically the Blade Runners are still up and down, but you go vertical. So you basically have this rudder that's going along the whole time when you're wearing your. Do you know if they're gonna fix that anytime soon? Maybe.
we like bugs.
Let me tell you,
You
one
know?
thing. That
Or-
issue is unfortunately really fucking difficult to fix.
I was thinking that because it didn't get fixed right away. So I was like, oh, this
No.
might be a little bit more complicated than it looks.
Yeah, it unfortunately, it's gonna sound boring when I explain this, but it's unfortunately because at some point during the game development, we decided that we are not gonna support like a third-person camera or anything like that. So let's just like not make stuff work for that. And then as time went on, and I wasn't working on the game at this time, so I'm not sure exactly how things developed. But apparently it was like, let's not make a third-person camera. But then like apparently when the vehicles were added, there's like, oh, but we need third person because you're viewing from the third person when you're driving the vehicles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like, okay, so there was one exception added there or something like that. And then as time went on, like all the attachments and whatever weren't like fully supporting the third person view and whatnot. And now we kind of do have third person view for a lot of things, for like hypertubes and vehicles. That, and the system is not built for that. So we're like, all right, let's refactor that system, the third person blah 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 system, and that's a big task.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I know that when I see that fixed, then you guys have done a lot of work to
Yeah.
get to that point.
It's
You
the
can
same-
thank me. Yeah.
It's the same reason why you can't wear a gas mask in vehicles. It's the same problem because like all equipment relies on being unequipped when you're in third person because of it not being handled, blah 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 blah. So like once we solve that, we're gonna solve that as well.
Ooh, nice.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Someone needs to mute Joshi because a pun was made in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Can
I'll do
have
it.
it.
All right, someone mute
Good,
Josh
thank
real
you.
quick.
On it.
Yeah.
I like puns though.
Yeah. And Matthijs, that wasn't actually that little part of the map. That's what Marie worked on. She helped me out with this this update. She's one of the artists, art lead. So you can thank her instead. It wasn't my work.
You should have just taken that, Hannah.
No, I'm not you.
It's true.
Okay. So on third person viewing topic, now that when you're working on that, is there a way that you can also make sure that you can like adjust the height away from the character? The only reason is on certain things when I'm going through hypertubes, you know, it goes inside and then comes back outside. It goes inside, comes back outside, because I go through towers because I'm tower crazy. So I just love to have it back up like 3 inches, like what it looks like to me, and you wouldn't have to go in it wouldn't be forced to go inside the buildings when it goes inside buildings that you're at the top of. Would be nice. Just letting you know. You don't have to answer the question.
Is it on?
I don't get it.
On the QA side?
I just came up with it 3 seconds ago, so no. But
Yeah.
it will be very, very, very shortly. Okay, so does anyone have any other questions? I am running out of questions. I had a lot of them, and some of them I have like 4 of them on here that were fixed already. So. Like I had hypertube.
We're doing the right thing.
Sorry.
Hypertube walls, and that thing was implemented like the next update, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was using conveyor, you know, the one box conveyor things, and making the tubes going through those for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, now I don't have to do that anymore.
Skynet, get out of here. I don't want to have talk about bigger maps. Just get out.
Get out of here.
I don't want it.
Oh yeah, how about this? I was watching. I can't. I've gone blank on his name, but they made railguns for you. Have you guys seen that yet? With hypertubes, where you put the hypertube in place.
Oh yeah, I've
Every
seen
3
that. There's
3
a bunch
feet,
of posts on Reddit.
and you can shoot
It's
across the building so fast and die.
We need to limit that because loading issues.
Do we though?
Yeah. I mean, if people want to
Yeah,
break the game, they can break the game.
Yeah,
Right?
if you're gonna break the game, break it. Like,
Yeah.
no one's gonna accidentally do that, you know.
The only reason why we want to do that is because we don't want to get the crash reports. That's the only reason we want
Just
to.
implement if crash report due to moving across the screen too fast.
All right, define moving across the screen too fast.
Yeah, it's like that can happen for a lot of different reasons. That can
Yeah.
happen because of random.
Yeah.
Perhaps I don't know. Like, so we want to like when we get crash reports, we want to be able to narrow down what is causing.
Can you guys implement coronavirus into the game?
Just add JACE to it. No, I'm
What?
kidding.
It's right there.
What?
It's right there.
Running from our stream the other day. He sneezed and then suddenly the
Oh, yeah.
coronavirus jokes were like all up.
Yeah.
All we
I think.
And then my eyes
Someone
are
had
red
a-
and the stoner jokes are coming in as well.
Oh.
Classic.
Someone had a pretty good question. How long have we all worked at Costume Studios or together?
That's a good.
So
Is SNUTT the newest?
Yes.
Yeah, SNUTT's the newest.
I am 2 years.
yeah, just over 3 years for me here.
Over 5 years, bitch.
Bam!
Yeah.
Chase wins.
I
He needs
guess.
to win
I don't know.
something,
I don't know what I'm
Over-
winning
over
exactly.
Jace over
but-
here, old
Age.
timer.
Over
Age.
Jace. Yeah.
That's what you're winning.
I'm winning age.
But I'm curious also, how long have you guys been in game dev biz overall? Not just.
I was like 2 years before that, so 7 years.
Okay.
Does studying count?
Well, you were like interning, I think.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
interning counts, then it's been 3.5 years.
Yeah, because I feel like that counts because you were like at Ubisoft.
Mm.
I feel like that.
Yubi.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I'm 7 or 8. Remember?
Cool.
Yeah, so this is basically my first like actual job in the games industry. So
Yeah, it feels that way.
it is the thanks, I guess. I don't own your lunch anymore.
So here's a good question. After the update came down, does your jobs get more hectic, or do they slow down a little bit?
I think it depends. It depends on the discipline, right? So, like, what about you, Hannah? Maybe it slows down for you, or
Slowed down real hard.
Yeah.
Didn't have a lot of level bugs, and the level bugs we did have usually were more like loading related. Like the one where you fall through the tiles. That was like this really weird thing that was like something with the loading that went wrong. It was interesting, but yeah, it slowed down really hard for me. So, which was good because I needed some slowdown. But then I switched over to some other stuff in the meantime, and I worked on the lighting a little bit more. But yeah, for me, usually after an update, unless there are any pressing bugs, it slows down a lot.
I feel like SNUTT probably had it kind of hard because I think it probably picked up a bit with programming, or did it slow down? Because then you were also community managing, and it picked up for community managing as well, I imagine.
Yeah, for me, it's
It did for me.
really like for us as community managers, the peak isn't, or maybe it was like around the release 3, and then like our DMs are just like destroyed.
Yeah,
And
I never reached 0 DMs for I think 1.5 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I couldn't finish them.
But yeah, for me, I was also in a bit of an unfortunate situation because I was both a programmer and a community manager. So like leading up to release, there was so much work doing all the announcement stuff. And then as we released, then it's like, okay, fixing bugs is like the next thing, plus managing all the CM stuff. And
that brain disconnect as well, right? Where you're like hopping between both, hurts your energy levels.
Yeah, and I have a really hard time like switching off. So when we released, I worked every waking hour for a week until I was like, I've been working every single hour since release. I should probably not do that anymore.
Yeah.
And now, hopefully, next, like as soon as we get the thing out of experimental and out to early access, I think it's gonna be better for me because then now I'm also like working a lot because we have a video coming out next week for the release that I'm working on.
It's gonna be
and
good.
I'm also fixing bugs. It's gonna be good.
Did you just fucking spoil the release?
The release of what? No, we said that on stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we said that we're shooting for next week for.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things saying when the release is.
Cool.
So. SNUTT's had a rough, I think, in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like going over from being full-time programmer to be full-time community manager. It's just like this awkward like middle phase, which I believe you also went through, Jace. When.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough actually. It's like not. Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah, we need support on both fronts. So.
Yeah.
And I don't know like how it was like determined for you because like when you were half and half, you were both programmer and community manager. I don't know when like you actually made the switch because I feel like you were in that position for a long time.
Yeah, that was just the reality of it. Like the work just took, the community management work just took over, and for like a few weeks I was 50-50. But the reality was I had no time to do programming.
Yeah.
So then we just kind of was like, all right, let's just accept the reality here.
Yeah.
I'm not a programmer anymore. Yeah.
Because there were no like, at this point, Jace is going to be community manager forever or something. It's just like more and more community managers happen all over the like all the time.
Yeah.
And suddenly like
yeah. Well, we need a full-time community manager. Yeah. That was it.
So here's a question. You guys have 2 community managers for like talking to people like me. I try to like reach out to community managers and other like game manufacturer people. I don't know what they're called anymore.
Studios.
There we go. Studios.
Yeah.
And I'll go through every single person in the thing because they'll usually list them, and they'll have no community managers whatsoever. And I'm like, how do I talk to them? Who do I contact in order to get to maybe do something like this with them? I'm so flabbergasted that no one else has community managers because I know you guys work hard and do an awesome job.
Yeah, the weird thing is, like, even for Coffee Stain, it was really hard to justify why we would need a community manager, even from the very, very beginning when I didn't have that much work to do. Purely because we never had a community manager before. It's like, what the hell does a community manager do? But then as the work picked up and we had someone called a community manager, so that I ended up doing all that work, we started to learn, oh, there's a fuck ton of work. And then that work caught up, and then we needed a full-time community manager. However, with other studios, it could be different. It could be that they don't feel they need a community manager, or maybe their community isn't of the size or active that justifies needing a full-time community manager. I'm not sure. So it could be those sort of reasons why they don't have them. But then it does create that situation when it's like, well, who do you contact? And I guess you just contact someone and ask, who do you contact? Like, I mean, what else are you gonna do, right?
Well,
Like,
I reach out to a whole bunch of people. I'm just asking you guys because I have you guys here, but I'm thinking of it right now. I reach out to them and I'll get nothing. I mean, like nothing. No response. They'll like the post that I sent to them, but they won't actually talk back to me.
Okay.
So I have no idea what
Weird.
I find it interesting.
Yes.
It's like
studios that
games like Unknown Worlds and things like that do like Subnautica and things like similar games that I thought people would like to see, but I guess they're just too busy for me, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
It's like what Jay said in the interview I did with him. It's like there's so many different flavors of community management, and like all the studios do things very differently. Some are very like have a public face, or some are just like, nah, it's just our brand. That's what you talk to. You're talking to our brand. When you're like messaging us on Twitter or whatever, you're talking to our Twitter handle. Like,
I can do that.
And some are very open about things, and some are very like corporate about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like a big philosophy as well that I've kind of got, and that is respond to everyone and always be a person. And I know that in the early days when I was doing community management and I was responding to everyone, and it was like a lot of work, people would be like, you don't have to respond to everyone. Okay. It's, it's like, if you respond to all these people, it's not going to translate to like this much value or something. And then I just kind of figured, how do you know? Like these are just people. Like what the fuck? They're just trying to play your game, Like why can't you speak to them? So like I respond to everyone now, and I always try and be like really human, for better or worse. So I think it helps a lot as well, because it creates nice situations like this where we can hang out and talk, and we don't really miss opportunities from people who want to do things because you're interested. So.
Okay. I have a few people asking about, conventions like Gamecom. Are you guys going to be doing any conventions lately? I know I keep hearing, like, we're going to have, I'm in Washington, by the way, Washington State. So we're going to have Emerald City Comic Con, and I've already heard, like, 5 or 6 people pull out. Because of certain viruses going around, and they just, they're like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Cool.
Right.
Are you guys seeing the backlash for that? For you guys going, well, maybe we won't do this. We'll just hold off for the next one.
I don't think we have decided anything on it.
No. I mean, we were gonna try to go to Unreal Fest, but that was canceled as well after
Yeah.
GDC
Did that get
got canceled.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
Oh shit! Wrecked.
Yeah, so I guess not.
And the
Oh.
thing me and Jace are booked on right now is TwitchCon, and well, guess we'll see what happens there. Because
Okay.
that's pretty soon.
That is pretty soon.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Maybe it
Just
won't be
wash hands
fine.
or something.
Wash hands, alcohol thing, whatever. Don't
Yep.
hug people. Don't shake hands. Fist bump.
Fist bump.
Yeah.
I like when you kick your feet.
Do a Wi-Fi.
I'm afraid of doing that though, Snoot, because if you miss and you kick him in the shin, and then what?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
in jail for abuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to be friendly at a convention, went to jail for abuse.
But it's the same thing when you do go for a fist bump, man. You can be like, "Whoa, I just slipped," and just punch you in the face.
You're going in for those fist bumps, my dude.
No, I'm fucking going. I'll do the fucking, you know, the white guy thing where like they're going for like the different handshakes, and the white guy just like, have you seen the John Mayer and what's his name? Is it Drake or someone? They made like a spoof of it where John Mayer's going in for a handshake, and he goes back with like a fist bump, and they just like meet with this awkward hug. It's amazing.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's amazing. Oh, it's so funny.
You gotta link me later, dude. Link me later.
I'll hook you up.
But yeah, so we'll see. I still wanna go, but I don't know what's gonna happen. We're trying to organize like a bit of a meetup and stuff as well. I can't remember if we told Kat about this. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Kat in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Good shit. And then so we got TwitchCon, and then we got Develop in Brighton in July.
Okay.
And I want to talk about getting to PAX in Australia.
Ooh, that'll be
Nice.
Yeah. Couple reasons. One, because it would be good, right? Like it's another conference. And two, like seriously, it's a fantastic opportunity for me to actually visit my family. Like to take private time. Private time to do it. Because it's such a big fucking commitment to go there. And my family are all over the country. It's like I would use more than my year's vacation time just to see my family. Otherwise, but an opportunity like that where I could still see some of them a little bit during the week or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the thought. We'll see what happens. Maybe they're going to be like, no.
Well, maybe you can come to PAX. I think we were called PAX Prime for a while. I think we're now PAX West. So you need to come to PAX West because, you know.
Yeah, we should do some PAXs, snip, see how that goes. We're still trying to figure out, like, is it a good idea for us to even do this?
Yeah.
We don't even know yet.
Because like we don't know how like beneficial it'll be for the company. We also don't know like mentally how fucking draining that can be. Because like I always get absolutely sick when I go to conventions.
Yeah, me too.
And we're already booked for like
Con flu.
So like if we go to a bunch of conventions regularly, like how draining will that be?
Yeah, and they'd probably be sending us to Gamescom as well. So that's another one.
Okay.
Probably. So it's already getting bonkers.
It's not set in stone yet, but
Well, that's awesome. Okay, well, I will do my mid king promotion. So, subscribe to my channel, please. Okay, there you go. That's fine. I had somebody subscribe earlier. I
it's the consequences.
Well, you
That's
know,
a threat from me, not from Keen.
I was very, very jealous of SNUTT the other day because he tweeted out that he got 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, I worked so hard, and he's beat me by like 4 times.
To be fair,
Well, you know
I
who
was
you
so
need
happy for you though, so thrilled.
Yeah. Simon. He had like 40 followers. And then the game released, and he went up to like, I don't know, 400 or 600 or something like that within like a week.
Wow,
blame
that's
Simon,
that's
right?
not
Blame
happening.
Simon.
Oh,
Yeah,
everyone was blaming Simon. Yeah.
But I've had 4 YouTube channels before the one I just made, so I've been there as well. I had one YouTube channel I worked for 2 years on, and I have 85 subscribers. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I have my YouTube channel, which I think I worked on for about a year, and I got about 60 or 80, and then I left it, did nothing, and now I've got 160.
Yeah.
No, 199, my dude. What?
Oh shit. You should just post. You need to post a video of you drinking yin from a bowl with a spoon.
Yeah, eating gin.
Yeah, eating.
With
Yeah,
yeah.
like no commentary. You just go like.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's disgusting.
The fuck?
Here's a good question from somebody. How do you guys de-stress? What is your distress?
We don't. What's that?
Okay, on the 1 day a year you get to de-stress, what do you do that 1 day?
I mean, I try to leave my work at work. Basically, when I get home, I try to let go of all that. Just do my own thing. I don't work too much on personal projects. I used to before I started working at Coffee Stain, but Coffee Stain, all my creative energy goes into that already. So it's yeah. I just make sure I get enough input. Consume.
Okay, so
Basically that.
Okay.
What?
How do you do it, Jace?
Me? Well, I don't. That's my problem. I don't de-stress. It can't be done. But in terms of like leaving work at work, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Work is everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing can fix that. I've tried. So one thing I try and do is I play a lot of console games and keep my phone over here by the desk, so I don't ever look at anything. I just play games there. And so there's that. I don't really do anything else. I don't de-stress. That's the thing. I'm on edge 24/7. What about you, Snut?
Yeah, I'm almost like that. I have a hard time letting go of work. I'm a workaholic. Like I've got it from my dad as well. He also worked a lot throughout his years. So I've like when I got off work, I'll work on something else, or I'll work more.
Yeah.
It's only really when I'm playing video games, and but then again I tend to play really stressful video games. Like I play Rocket League, and I practice Rocket League, and I'm like devoting time on it to get better at that game. And it was the same thing when I was growing up. Like I used to be like I used to study music, and I would be like studied playing the guitar like 8 hours a day as a job. Like my intent was to like I'm gonna practice like it's my job. I've had that mentality since then. So I have a really hard time de-stressing because like when I go on vacation, there's like I have maybe 3 days I'm just like playing video games and doing nothing, and then I'm like, well, now I gotta do something. So either I start up like a project, some small game or something, or I like make YouTube videos or something. Practice.
Just do the same thing.
Wow.
Exactly. Like I have such a hard time letting go of working.
I could just hermit for 3 weeks and do shit.
But I do have like I know when I hit my limit, because I know when I'm like, oh shit, now I'm not feeling so good, and then I just like absolutely swamp video games for a while, and then I'm back at it, back at the horse.
Okay, so how about this? I know you guys don't play your game all the time. Right now, what is your game of choice when you're like, you know what, I want to zone out. I just want to zone out. I'm going to go play...
Yakuza 3.
Okay.
That's what I'm playing right now. I just platinumed Yakuza 2, and so I just grabbed Yakuza 3, and I'm working through that bad boy. Nice. Oh, and Life is Strange with Hannah.
Yep. We're playing through it again. Just never stop. Never stop. Such nice game.
Yeah, incredible game.
And I also never stop playing Skyrim because I've modded it to hell, and I do like hyper immersive roleplay playthroughs.
Okay.
So that, but my game of choice will always be D&D, for sure.
You're such a nerd.
D&D. I know. I'm like.
Are you hyped for Baldur's Gate 3?
I've been playing a lot of Divinity.
Because I
And
watched a preview.
I
on
think
that.
it's gonna
Oh my
be really
goodness.
good. I think it's gonna be really good. I don't know if it's far enough from Divinity to really let go of that feeling of me playing Divinity, but then again, Divinity is so based on D&D. Does it matter that much? I don't know. We'll see. But I think it looks really promising for sure. So.
When you play Skyrim, do you like mod it or do you just play?
Yeah.
vanilla?
Yeah, no, I haven't played vanilla Skyrim in like years. I've maybe played it like when it came out, and afterwards never went back. I cannot go back anymore.
I've never
Yeah.
finished Skyrim.
Aww.
You don't need to.
Yeah, okay,
It's
fine.
not really.
It's one of those games that
It
you
feels
never.
like-
Some people never finish.
I was gonna
No.
say, like, to be fair, every time I say that, people are just like, yeah, but yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, yeah.
I got bamboozled and I bought the PS3 version.
Yeah.
And when your save file gets to a certain size, the game doesn't run anymore.
Wait, what?
What the fuck?
So I didn't finish it.
Well, all right. Life is Strange 1 for people.
And then we're gonna do the prequel, and then we're gonna do number 2. And I've not played 2. Hannah, you've played 2.
I've played 2 episodes of 2.
2 episodes of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's Rocket.
Rocket League.
But it used to be Resident Evil 5 before Rocket League. Like I think I still played more Resident Evil 5 than I've played Rocket League, and I have 2000 something Resident Rocket.
I also played Dota. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But only against bots because I can't play competitively against other people because it stresses me out too much.
No, I'm the other way.
I got only one of those I play, and that's Overwatch.
I don't think I've ever
Really?
played Overwatch with anyone from the office.
Play a lot during lunch, usually.
Yeah, exactly. Because do you guys play like almost every lunch, or?
If we have time, yeah. So usually, if we have food boxes, then we do.
Because our lunches are like at least for me recently, it's just like get something fast, eat it, and then immediately go play Rocket League for the.
Yeah,
for the
basically that.
duration of the-
Basically that.
Oh,
And we get to play with Alyosha as well sometimes, which is really nice.
Oh,
And he's like really fucking good. He's in like the top 500 or something.
oh shit.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Let me see here. What else?
Oh. We talked about something before the stream started. Remember?
I don't remember.
Crap, I forgot.
It's about lunch. Speaking of lunch boxes.
No,
Oh,
I have told you. You insulted me so hard today. I literally said on stream, I don't owe you lunch anymore because
Okay,
that
so-
went too far.
So
Jay.
this is the situation,
Too far.
folks.
No.
Hannah desperately wants to be my friend, but she owes me lunch, and so and she won't pay up. That's the thing.
Maybe
That's the
because I
problem.
don't actually want to be your friend.
No, you're the one. Okay, so this is where it started. This is where it started, Hannah. You're the one who matched me on OkCupid.
Of course. Duh. How could I pass that opportunity up?
Yeah,
Too good.
and then you said you'd buy me lunch, and then you didn't. You still owe me lunch.
Yeah. Do you not understand? I ghosted you. Jeez.
Take
I
a
only
fucking
did it
hit.
so I could ghost you.
I didn't
Just
actually
don't
go-
get it. You
That's
just
so
don't
good.
get it.
This is my only chance to talk to you, Hannah. Where's my lunch? Where's my lunch?
Like, it's never gonna happen, man. It's never gonna happen.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
So hashtag Hannah owes Jace lunch. All right.
Hashtag got ghosted.
so I have somebody asking where your obligatory hat is, and I already know the answer to this question, but I'll let you say it.
Well, I'm not a community manager, so I'm not allowed to have one.
There it is.
That's how simple it is. So if you wear a hat, you're a community manager. There's no way around it.
Well, you do rock the flannel from time to time.
Yes.
That's true.
Mhm.
No, that's not community manager fun. Oh yeah, it kind of is. No, it's not. It's just gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Flannel fever. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I need to
exactly
rock
what
that.
it is.
Okay, guys.
We all have flannel.
If you guys have any more
Next
questions,
time.
make sure you ask them because, you know, you'll have to wait till their streams before you can ask.
By the way, we may have a video out tomorrow. We were supposed to be out today, but I got coronavirus, so I couldn't do it. But I should be all right tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
It's a lot of
What
work.
about Gamescom? Yeah, we may be at Gamescom Panic Cotta. Maybe.
Yeah.
If they don't cancel it.
Yeah, if they don't cancel it, and I don't know. I get the feeling that because Germany is such a we got such a huge player base in Germany, it'd be crazy for us not to go to Gamescom. And when I went to Gamescom last year, there was a lot of people who wanted to like hang and meet up and blah 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 blah. So if we had me and SNUTT and a bit better planning, we can probably do more things. Get a video out as well of the whole thing. I'm gonna try to do that with TwitchCon as well if that works out.
Yep, there are Easter eggs in the game, for sure. And has someone found the Doggo Cave? I've seen screenshots of it. So yeah.
Are you planning to make another VR game? I don't think we have made a VR game, but maybe we haven't. There are many Coffee Stain studios or branches.
Right.
And
yeah.
our studio, which is Coffee Stain Studios, has not done a VR game.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe Coffee Stain Publishing did, or maybe blah, 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 blah did. I don't know.
Our fucking VR set that we had, we just fucking chucked it in the ute.
Just chucked it in the ute. Yeah. Yeeted it out of the room.
Yeah, we did.
What's your Rocket League rank, SNUTT?
That's a good question. Let me check because I actually don't.
It's probably
it off.
It's probably like disgustingly high.
No, it's not. Well, I'm currently champ 2.
Planning on having gameplay modes, maybe.
I think there will be. I'm pretty sure.
Like,
my guess is yes.
It'd be cool to build in like the whole what was it 20 by 20 challenge and stuff like that.
Yeah, but even like things like peaceful mode or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Like
would be nice.
Pretty sure we will have that. I'd be surprised if we didn't. But
there's some ideas floating around for like what that could be. But yeah, it's all very like that would be later in development, a bit closer to 1.0, I think.
Hypertubes in VR, yes. Are you sure?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oh
no, that's a barf fest.
That's spicy.
That's if you ate something wrong and you want to get it out, that's what you do. Yeah. Jeez. Safe for work map design mode. Yeah, just blur out some of the rocks.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your best games in the world? Your favorite games, guys? Mine was Detroit Become Human. And what about you guys?
Favorite game.
As a quality or
whatever. If I were to say what is your favorite game and you had to give one game.
Because there's two sides to the question. It's like because like the best game I know of, I've only played it like once, you know, or like the game I played the most. It's not maybe not.
What, Satisfactory?
I think it's either way. I'm the same. The best game I've ever played, I've only played once.
Okay.
But it's just when I think what is the best experience I've had, it's that.
Right.
Well, I have like old school and new school type stuff for me.
Yeah.
You have like, you know, back in the old days. I'm probably older than all of you guys, by the way. But I played.
That's a weird flex, but okay.
It's not a weird flex. It's more like I started playing games when it was like, you know, you had 16-bit graphics.
When it was not cool.
Hey man, I've made games for the Commodore 64.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
So like my old school games would be like Final Fantasy like 2, 3, which would be like 7, 8. And the new 7. The new 7 looks so good. It makes me want to buy a PlayStation just to play it because I don't have one. But I can't afford it, so it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it is coming to PC. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait till later.
Okay.
But yeah, Hannah.
I'm trying not to look at it.
But yeah, so that'd be the
Oh
old
man,
school.
this is such a difficult question. Like,
And then you got recent games you're playing. I've been playing Satisfactory every day forever, so this is the reason why I have this channel.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Interviewing you guys, but yeah, what's you guys?
I play Satisfactory a lot. Yeah. It's my job.
Okay, what game do you play not for your job?
Games I played not for my job. I mean, Dragon Age Origins will always stay one of my favorite games. Because it's informed so much of like other games that I've started playing afterwards. Like it sort of was like a gateway into RPGs, kind of like Dragon Age Origins and Fable sort of at the same time. Really got me into RPGs. So for sure. I mean, so many. I just think there's like such a list.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know mine now. I always forget this. So the best game that I've ever played in my entire life is called, and it's not Echo the Dolphin. It's just called Echo.
Oh, I remember that.
Studio.
I remember that.
It's made by Studio, where it's like when I played through that, I was like, this is the coolest fucking game design I've ever seen. And I played through it once, and I've never played it since because I have such a fond memory of it, and I don't think I will. But it's really, really fucking good, and it was made by like 4 people, and it pisses me off how like I didn't come up with that idea.
I wanted it to be my idea.
No, but it's like it's one of those game design things where it's like it's such a simple idea. It's like with Minecraft, you know, like it's such a simple idea, and it's like, oh, obviously, like you would have done that game, like if you could have thought of that. But and Echo is one of those games where like, geez, it's so fucking smart, or like genius, and it's such a simple game design, and like how they like totally branch out with it is amazing. And I was like, when I was playing through that game, I would not shut up about it at like work, constantly talking about that game. Holy shit. It's like every single fucking subject we're talking about, I was just like, by the way, in Echo, there's this thing.
So we want to know what you're doing for lunch.
Oh, I'm probably playing Echo. I mean,
probably playing Echo, actually.
Yeah, no, that's probably.
Bye, Simon.
Sleep.
I think he's probably gone. It's been a while.
Probably. Yeah. Sandbox mode? Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's good shit.
That'd be nice.
It's weird because like I've had like favorite games that like they just kind of come in and out, right? Like Portal was my favorite game.
Oh
of all
yeah,
time.
Portal's so good.
And then I was I speed run it, and I played it hundreds of hours or whatever, however much I've played, and now the game frustrates me to think of it. I know it's a good game. It is a very good game. I would recommend it to anyone, and I think objectively it's great. But when I think about it, do I get a good feeling? No, I don't.
Right.
It's not my favorite game. Like I fucking have tattoos of the little cube, but it's not my favorite game.
Yeah. I also sucker for games like Tomb Raider and Uncharted. Like
Tomb Raider's good.
That adventure puzzle stuff. Oh, love it.
So what's your favorite Tomb Raider? Is it like new stuff, old stuff, really old stuff?
I tried some of the old stuff. You know, I'm literally as old as Lara Croft. Just like Lara Croft has existed on this planet as long as I have existed, which is kind of fun. And I played the first one, and it was a fucking nightmare because I played it like 2 years ago or something. It's
really hard to go back.
Oh
yeah. That's not a game that aged well.
Yeah, no, it has not aged well. So I started very much playing the Tomb Raider games at the reboot. So I really love the reboot trilogy. And I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the last one, is probably my favorite of those.
I've only played the first reboot one, and I loved it. So I need to play the others.
Yeah. The last one has a lot more like stealth and like cooler exploration stuff, and I'm a fan of that. So
cool.
Stealth is the best.
I know, I played that. I beat the crap out of that game.
Yeah, I mean.
Have you ever guys had a game where you started and you're like, I can't play any more of this game? I played you play like an hour, and you're like, I can't finish this. This game is so something. You can't
I haven't.
go any further.
I haven't. I don't know if I've done that with something and played 1 hour and then like bailed out of there. Maybe it has, but then I just don't remember it. But the worst experience I had was Final Fantasy 13, where I put a lot of time into it, and the only reason I put time into it was because it was a Final Fantasy game. And then I ended up like 3 hours or something, 4 hours away from the end, and I was like, wait, I don't have to play the game. And then I didn't, and the world was right again.
That sounds like, yeah, that sounds familiar. It sounds like The Witcher 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, my game is the first Witcher. I tried it for like 5 minutes, and I was just so incredibly frustrated at everything it was doing. I just quit. I was like, no, I hate everything about this. So I just quit.
Did you come from Witcher 3 and play
Nope.
1, or the other way?
No, I played 1. I got the game like sort of when it came out, I think, and then I played it a few years later because it had just been on my shelf for a while,
Right.
and then I hated everything.
So it wasn't a like, because a lot of games haven't aged that well, but like when you play them when they came out, they were like fucking amazing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but that was not.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I think mine is probably GTA 5. I
Oh,
finish
yeah.
the game because it's too big. Like Rockstar makes too big games, and it's so frustrating. Like the physics in those games are always so frustrating. I almost did it with Red Dead 2. I really loved the first Red Dead game, and I was like, I owe it to myself to finish the second one. But it was just like 80 hours. I did nothing but main story. 80 hours, and like when you think the game is over, bam, fucking epilogue, and I'm like, you fucking kidding me? 8 more hours. It never ends.
Oh man, I'm
I'm
trying to finish it soonish.
Yeah. So, then
Never played the first, but yeah.
I never played either.
I mean, I knew there was an epilogue, so like
Oh,
that's fine.
Well,
It's,
Rockstar games for me, I will never finish a Rockstar game ever. I'll get to a point where I'm either there's a mission and I'm like, this mission is impossible. I'm not going to do this mission. I'm done. Or I played this a little too long. I need to play something else. Never go back to it.
I will say this,
Go on, sorry.
because I got this tip and I wish I would have gotten it. Was when you're play the doctor missions, finish all the doctor missions. I didn't, and I read up on it afterwards, and I was like, oh my god, I missed the best part of the game. So,
In the GTA 5?
no, from Red Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do all the doctor missions. They're not mainline missions, so that's why I missed them. But when I checked out what I was missing, I was like, oh my god, why did I do?
What if you say Wii
I'm
Sports is the best?
Yeah. I don't quite know which missions those are, but I've played all of the side ones that I've found so far.
You know how there's like this German guy in your...
Oh, Strauss.
Yeah, Strauss.
Yeah, I've played those. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, always do all those.
Yeah, I have finished all of those. Yeah.
Okay, you have.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah. And then I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but then you're all cool.
Very close to the end. So
Tomer Lem has asked this question a few times. How hard is it to make an idea into a feature in the game? So that's a pretty like wide question. So if we were to just say in Satisfactory, it's still a very wide open question.
yeah,
But
because
do you guys have any
ideas
thoughts?
I mean, it depends on the idea, really. Like, I guess it escalates the more existing systems it touches, the harder it gets.
It also
Because
depends
then
on
you
how-
have to, yeah.
how well built the other systems are to support being able to be. So like Mass Dismantle took an hour.
Yeah. And then and pipes. Well, you know how long it took.
Took half a year.
And
it's also like even their feature right now in the game that aren't done. We've been working on them for years, so it's also like.
Yeah, but then I guess like the thing with like ideas as well is like As you said before, Hannah, it's like it depends on how many other things it touches, right? Because every time it touches something else, it needs to justify its existence within that world, right? You can't just throw something in because it's cool. Sometimes you can, right? Like Wagon. No, that's not even cool. I mean, that's we put it in because of shit. But
that makes it cool.
Yeah, but it's like anything you add, you have to say, okay, what does it touch? Why is it there? Should it be there? Can we do something with what's already there to make it better to solve the problem that we're trying to solve? All this kind of stuff. So basically, it's hard because, I don't know, in a way, you kind of don't want ideas to be added into the game. Like it's a less is more kind of thing. And the only ideas that should be added are the ones that fit completely. Yes, goats. Exactly, Tomer. He gets it. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that.
It comes down to like you have your core pillars of the game. You want to like every time you add something, you have to like check. Okay, does it do something for your core pillars of the game? So like, even if we add a dumb feature like Wagon, there's still a core pillar in a game that says like we have these small like secrets or like things, and that justifies them being there, right?
Yeah, exactly. We can get away with the Wagon since our game has a lot of jokes and humor in it as well.
Exactly.
No.
I think the one thing that I think is the hardest thing to explain to people that aren't doing game dev is how much small things can make big changes to stuff that has nothing to do with the feature whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because like
Snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
Pretty much.
The snowball effect.
Yeah.
Snowball effect, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like how something that can seem very trivial in game design terms can absolutely like ruin a game. In like and the one thing that I just can come up to my mind right now is that Minecraft, how like you can't really build a lot of stuff at the same time in Minecraft, because the charm in Minecraft is that you're this one little person in the world and you have to like interact with one thing at a time, and that makes it worthwhile when you do big things. You know that I can do big things because, and like it's a big thing because I know how much the process was to build all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like if you were to add more like quality of life features that makes it way easier to do big things, then you might be taking away some charm with it. That might
I think you'd probably sacrificing a lot of early game as well, because your expectation when you start a game is I should be able to make massive things, but then you can't. So but yeah, like I agree with like the charm would be gone. You lose a lot of value there. You might think you don't, but you do.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing for game developers to, I think, translate to people, because oftentimes they'll be like, add this thing, and then maybe oh that sounds cool, and we test it and they're like, oh, that was shit because it totally ruined something else. But how do you explain that to people other than like, we tried it and it wasn't fun? And like, what do you mean it's not fun? Of course it's fun. And they don't understand like how it affects stuff.
One example, and I don't want this example to just be a discussion of why we should or shouldn't add this thing, but it's an example, is a lot of people are used to building from top down, I think, from playing from other games. It also is probably objectively easier in some aspects, and so when they play Satisfactory, they're not getting a top down view anymore, and they're like, well, I want a top down view, can we have a drone or a top down view? The thing is, a top down view is a terrible idea in Satisfactory. It doesn't work at all. It completely removes the point of the game. The point of Satisfactory is to build up. And the second you have a top-down view, you can't build up anymore. Yeah. Because now how do you build on the third floor of your 5-floor building? And then some folks go, well then, what if it's just a drone that you fly in and out of? And I'm like, like how are you really helping things? Like really, if you want to build in the center of the 6th floor of your building, how about what's happening now with like exploring the map? If you have a drone to just fly around and do shit for you and build stuff or whatever. So those are just examples of how it snowballs into like, I want this thing. And then you can keep trying to justify why you want to do it. And it keeps complicating things, and it keeps touching things that seemingly had nothing to do with it in the first place. But it gets more and more confusing. So that's one where like drones, I don't know how much sense they really will make. It sounds good at first, But I think in practice, when you start thinking about what's really going to be happening, it's like not a good idea.
Yeah, and it's really hard to like explain that because on the paper it sounds fucking awesome. Like, oh, of course you want all the possibilities to be able to view from all different angles and whatnot. But you know, everything affects everything in game, and
Yeah.
just gonna have to
Yeah.
trust that we know what we're doing, or maybe we don't. Yeah.
Sometimes we do actually know what we're doing. Just sometimes.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Good thing you're not developing.
Got him.
Yep. Dodge that bullet.
Here's a
I
good
have no what I'm
question.
doing.
What would you guys say, or how many new things? Let's see here. How many new things did you guys learn since you joined CSS?
Oof.
Like so much. I mean, I went from a wide-eyed game dev graduate to a stress-filled veteran in 3 years.
In 3 years.
So
You aged so quickly.
I aged like 30 years in 3 years.
You're like a boomer 20-year-old. Jesus.
Yeah. That's how I feel. That's how I feel every day.
Yeah.
Like I get up and like all my bones crack, you know.
Yeah.
That feeling. Fused
Hey.
with my hair.
Some of us here know what that feels like.
No, I learned a lot because ironically I got into Coffee Stain thinking of level design in one way, and then Coffee Stain was like, no, we think level design is this way. I'm like, oh, it's way more artsy than I'm used to. Okay, sure, I can do this. And I had to learn a lot in the process. A lot more like art theory and how to work with visuals. And I was more used to like the gameplay type of level design where I would design encounters and space, like tight spaces. So it was a big change for me to adjust. For sure. And then it was like, oh yeah, let's do some story too. Why not, right?
I'm
You
still
took that
looking
upon
forward
yourself,
to
that one, yeah?
But yeah, I mean, like that was also totally my own fault, like Jay said. Like I was like, we should have story in this game. I think it would add a lot. And then I pitched it, and then they were like, okay, sure, do it. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm learning a lot about lighting now as well because like I do that stuff in the map as well, and it's just insane. Like I'm learning so much.
But it's fun when you branch out. You learn.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Stuff that you didn't think you were gonna.
Absolutely.
I'm so looking forward to the story, whatever it is.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to like.
I
know
can't
what?
wait.
I have a lot of people I watch, and they're like, I don't like story, and I'm like, no, story's the best. Story's the best.
I mean,
They will like the story.
I would hope so. And I mean, like, it's not going to be. This isn't an RPG, right? So it's not going to be an RPG story. It's not going to be super heavy, lots of dialogue, whatever. It's still going to fit the game. It's going to be, it's not going to be in the way. Hopefully, it will just enhance the experience and not take away from it. That's the.
And I also think it's a good thing for some folks that like when they play games, they like to finish games. Like me, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to play a game that's like you can play forever. So if I had a story, I would play and I would get my dog shit factory to a certain place where I can finish the game, and I'm like, there it is, I finished the game, and now I can move on. Whereas, obviously, as Hannah was saying, the story is not going to be very intrusive. So even if you want to just play openly, you can just keep doing that as well, and you're not affected at all. So like, it's a complete win. No one, yeah.
Yeah, and
because I actually get a lot of messages from people who are like, "There's no point to the game," blah blah blah. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why I want a story to sort of like give more context, give a better goal, stuff like that. Give some motivation that's more intrinsic and personal, rather than just like you building whatever you want to build. And I promise there will be more story if you dig deeper and if you look for it. Once we implement it. So people that don't care, they don't have to. They can just play the game as they want. People that care about story, there will be places where they can find more, basically.
I'm looking forward to see what just summer.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out very much right now.
Nobody.
Yeah.
knows.
We're doing a lot of like brainstorming and concepting and whatever right now, so it's cool.
Jay,
I'm looking forward to the ending. The ending is going to be good. I'm pretty sure I know it. Hope it doesn't change.
I hate
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it was
it hasn't
spoiled
changed
for me.
yet.
Yeah, I hate that it was spoiled for me. Like the first thing that happened at work.
Oh, really?
This is what's gonna happen. I'm like, I kind of want to see.
It's okay. There have been additions that you don't know about, and I won't tell you. So there will be still some surprise for you there.
But I love that because when I used to work at games, you knew everything. Like you knew everything that goes into. I used to work as a producer, and you know like everything. It's so refreshing to be like, oh, I never seen this. Like when you build, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's like 100% of my time is videos, DMs, meetings, and things like that. And then someone's like, and then I go to a big like sprint roundup or whatever, and it's like, oh look, wow, we have a new area in the game. Whoa, Jace has been there 6 months. I'm like, oh.
Oh no, I'm already getting threats.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Rob.
Will you release the story in small parts or be released in whole? I think the goal is in one go.
Yeah, in one go. We're just like all the stuff that's in now, like the messages you get from Ada and stuff. That's just like the most minimal of story we had to put in just to make the game make sense. We're trying to hide as much as we can just to give that full impact of when we release. So would be.
So if you were
as a whole,
were to guess for update, would this be like update 5 or like update 27?
I would guess. I would guess
I'll be
1.0
like,
last
release.
update, most likely just the last update,
Last update.
whatever that is.
1.0.
1.0 will probably be story. Yeah.
Okay. That works. That works
Jace,
good.
What is the?
What's
did you
SNUTT?
learn from?
What have I learned?
Yeah. What was the original question?
I don't know.
We completely derailed it.
This is what
my
that's an INTER-VERSATION.
my experience from joining Coffee Stain till now has been a fucking roller coaster, and it's not necessarily like just a lot of things happened, and so I don't know. Like, did I become a better programmer? I suppose I learned Unreal Engine, and now I make videos. I don't know how I got here.
I guess you made a choice, and then suddenly it mattered, huh?
I guess the biggest thing that I learned was I can be a community manager. Yeah, I really don't know.
That's me as well for like game dev. Like I've jumped around so much. I don't know what fuck am I doing?
And for me, it's clear cut because it's my first job. So yeah, of course I'm gonna learn a lot.
But for me, I think like I don't feel like I've learned like anything new wise. Like I've worked more with different areas that I've worked before with, so like I've gotten more in-depth knowledge for it. So I think like the biggest things probably things I've learned from Jace about like how to handle community stuff, because I come from a game dev world where it's more like kind of corporate, how you handle community management, how you handle like PR in general and marketing. It's like all very much handled by someone else almost. Like it's never this, like the studios that I worked for, they've never them handled it. Never had like this kind of like persona that we have right now. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for me is learning to be less corporate, I guess. I'm being more like honest about things, and how to like handle expectation for a lot of people, or like what when you say certain things, you get certain reactions. So yeah, like that, I guess.
Yeah, I had to reel him in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was super corporate when he got here, and I was like, Say ass. Do it. Say ass.
Suit every day, and then Jace was just like, just chuck it.
Just chuck it at you.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of times where, like, when I started working, like, I remember at my old job where it's like, don't say this thing, and I just see Jace like fucking do the opposite. I'm like, whoa.
It's like counter that conditioning, I guess. Yeah.
But it's also interesting because you see how I feel like I see how fucking wrong that was. Because like that's one thing that I think is super interesting, how all those years have been like, okay, this is how you do things, this is how that works, and then like you go somewhere else and it's like, what if we do it the other way? And like, whoa, no, it works way better doing that way.
Why isn't anyone else doing it this way?
Why isn't anyone else doing it that way? Why is the norm this certain way? It's weird.
It's learned behavior. How do you get like the really bad learned behaviors in the world? And I'm talking about like racism and stuff like that. It's all learned, and you learn it from this person, and then you translate it down to these people.
It's at a point when you're like impressionable, right? When you've got like nothing else to go on, and like, so it's if you're a kid, right, and you have racist parents telling you like, I don't know, black people are bad, whatever, then you become racist because you know nothing else, right? But then even like when it comes to like say community management, you've never done it before, and someone's like, you must have a professional username and blah blah blah. Yeah. Do not blah 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 blah. And then you're like, I must blah. I'm being very specific, but then, yeah. I mean, you're just gonna do that, and it's just so much better if you just like stop and think of what you actually want to achieve, and then just do that instead.
To some degree, I think it's also like you
catch you later, Summer.
Bye-bye.
Like big corporates, like, oh, Apple is doing their press releases this way, and our like little 5 team, let's do it the same way, and that's because that's how everybody does it. And like you have to be so professional. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
And like, don't get me started about like game dev conferences and stuff like E3 or whatever. When you know, studio execs come out and they want to tell you about how excited their unique and revolutionary first-person shooter is, like,
for the gamers, for you.
It's for you, the gamers.
We looked at the future. It's just buzzwords.
No one buys that shit, you know. Like,
it's just buzzwords.
The fact. I rant about this all day. All right, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's just really important to me.
You can rant for the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
Go.
The fact that all right, well, we're doing this. No,
Carry the stream.
I'm trying. All right. So the fact, shut up.
All right.
Let's keep interrupting.
I think I forgot what I was gonna. Okay, so the fact that people respond so well to the kind of community management that I do, and they really do. We get some people who don't like it, but it's like by far way more people are interested and engaged and on board and find it refreshing, and you know, they're just like, they love it. They're like, oh my God, yes, Coffee Stain, you know, JACE, SNUTT, you're all like this way. You're real people. You treat us like people, and they get excited about that. And the fact that they're so excited, to me anyway, the fact that they're so excited that I'm doing this just goes to show how fucking low the bar is. like I think I'm doing a good job, but there's no way I'm doing a great job. Like, I think anyone else who took the same philosophy that I wanted, or wanted to achieve something along the same lines that I do, and wanted to do it in the same way that I wanted to do it, could do a way better job, for sure. But it's clear that gaming communities are just starved for like a human connection, I suppose, to a studio, to a community manager, to whatever, someone who is human and who treats them as people. It's just unreal how it's so obvious that they want this, and no one's going to give it to them.
I think it's extra obvious because of Twitch as well, because like Twitch streamers, like the partner ones, they can only do it this way, right? They can only be themselves, and that's what they're selling. And it's so obvious how like, well, that's building communities, because that's really like how people get big on Twitch, through their community building.
Yeah. People want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It makes me feel weird, It's a bit like companies just kind of think that they have to be so safe, But just you're all people, man. Just be a collection of peoples, like we are, and that's why you get clowns on your YouTube screen right now.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, but I guess like another good example is like the mock E3 conferences Devolver does. They are something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Devolver, God tier.
Devolver, so good.
Yeah.
like legitimately, I'm impressed by that acting in it. It's just really good.
Devolver is the example of how you do it like amazingly. They're incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Hashtag goals.
Yeah.
Well, looks like
What's the plan after final release? Oh, go on.
Okay, so it looks like they want to know more plans on final release, and they're trying to give Hannah a heart attack by getting her a new map, completely new map.
We
We can see her convulsing. Look, she's already convulsing.
So it's like it's literally just me right now, okay? Like I have Marie to help me out, I have Ross to help me out, but like it's just me, okay?
Wait.
So basically what we want to do for 1.0 is just focus on this map, get this map as best as we can make it, considering it's all handmade. If we're talking other maps, really big maybe, and that will, if we do that, it will probably be DLC or expansions or whatever. And I have no idea. We are not looking that far right now. We're just focusing on 1.0 or even just the next update. So for now, it's probably a no. We'll see after 1.0 if that changes, but yeah. It's a lot of work to do that.
Yeah.
So.
And then as for the plan after final release, we don't even know what's an update for. So we don't know how many updates there are. We don't.
Yeah. We're literally trying to figure that out right now. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. We're looking for a developer with experience in console development. I didn't know that.
Are we?
I didn't know that. Apparently.
Where did you see
that?
Someone said that in the chat. We need professionals.
We're looking for programmers, but I don't know if
we need programmers.
that's part of that. But I saw a little discussion about Ada that Jace has already answered a lot of stuff on, which is So yes, Ada is generated, and I can maybe say something interesting about that. So when I create the dialogue for what that comes into the game, first I just write it into a document, and then I put it in the text-to-speech program, and then I have to generate that voice and just fix all the weird shit that happens, because text-to-speech, it still gets a little weird sometimes, and I have to do like very strange things with punctuations and like a lot of enters just to make her like pause sometimes and like emphasize certain words, and sometimes I just can't fix it. Like there's certain pronunciations that just never really work. Like for example, she refused to say the word construct. It was always construct. It always became the verb, but I needed the noun, and it just didn't work. So I had to actually use different words sometimes to like make sure that the voice generated correctly. Yeah, and then we throw like a bunch of effects over it and integrate it into the engine. But yeah, it's very interesting to generate the voice lines from dialogue, because I have to butcher it sometimes.
What is the name of the Vocaloid that we use?
So it's the Google text-to-speech program, but the program itself on my computer is called Spell and Speak.
Okay.
And then I have like a bunch of voices I can pick from, and I think it's the American female voice C or something. I don't know. It's something like that.
I love it.
Brain got it the other day. He found it.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's something with the effect or something that's pretty famous. There's some like, because I played another game that had the exact same voice as Ada.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So we don't know if we're gonna keep it like generated or.
Yeah. It was superliminal.
Subliminal. Okay.
Yeah, it was Subliminal.
Yeah, subliminal.
Yeah, so that's why you played it and I played it too. Yeah.
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 But yeah, and then there's like a couple of effects that the sound guys put over it. Like
Exactly, just to make
chorus
it
reverb.
sound a bit more interesting, more computery, basically, because it's meant to
A
be.
lot of people don't believe it's not voice acted, which I think is
Yeah,
really cool.
which is like I understand it, because like I try to filter out all the unnatural sounding parts, so I try to make it sound as natural as possible. But still, yeah, it's interesting.
It'd be
But like,
fun
I mean,
to-
that stuff
it'd
has
be
gone
fun
a
to make like
long way.
a Instagram story or something where you show what they look like before you clean it up. The process, actually.
Yeah.
I want that.
You should hear if I don't spell out fix it, like fix it.
Yeah.
She just does the FICSCIT is like no.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. She going to get a credit in the end. Yeah. It's like, thanks, Google.
Thanks.
I guess. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for existing.
You really
Can
did.
map making be a mod thing?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I would love to see community made maps and like stuff like sandboxes where you can make like specific challenges tailored to maps. I would love to see stuff like that. It'd be great. But I don't know if the tools to make access for that easy. I don't know if that's easy at all. That's more a programming thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Be dope.
would be dope.
Have add a break sometime. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, just like just have like
Yeah.
static and shit.
I think it should break and want to kill you for a while.
Jeez.
You have to go get the reset
just
breaker.
turns into GLaDOS. Just turns
Kill,
into GLaDOS
kill,
and insults the
murder.
fuck out of you. Yeah.
Oh,
Where did the idea of Satisfactory come from? SNUTT? Hannah?
I'll tell you, Jace. So
Yeah, we know.
the
Yeah, you
one
guys weren't
summer
here.
night-
Let Grandpa Jace take over. No, so it basically, after we stopped working on Goat Simulator, we had a period of let's prototype a bunch of games and see what works. And one of those games is my secret project. For those of you who know that I'm working on a secret project, one of those is that. But then the other one was Satisfactory, and that came about of a group of people who were playing Factorio like mad, and some other games as well. And so they're like, all right, we're going to do Factorio in 3D, essentially, was the pitch, obviously. And so they made a little prototype for that. And it was the best game that was there. Like, we all had to play each group's games for like 2 hours and then play the next one. And that one, everyone just couldn't stop playing, and they just played through lunch. Like, Satisfactory was the best game there. So then we had to vote for what games we were doing, and Satisfactory, almost unanimous, won. And so that's how it happened. That was the beginning of the end. Who came up with the name? I can't remember who came up with it, but that was a big process. A lot of people didn't like the name, me included. I hated it. And
Me too.
you hated it too? Yeah. And so there was like, we did a bajillion meetings, couldn't come up with anything, just like ignored it for a little while, like months, and then like met again, and then we ignored it for a while. Then we got to a point where we're like, yo, like no shit, coming up to the point where we started announcing anything, we were like, we really need a name so we could start making promo material. So then we were like, all right, we're going with Satisfactory.
Satisfactory, yeah. So it was just Factory Game before that, right?
Yeah, we just go to Factory Game.
Yeah.
I think it was you who came up with the name, maybe.
Oh, really?
I
hate him.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but I think because I don't remember who it was, but I remember the person saying they hated the name as well. They hated that they came up with it or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it does like make sense. Like that's the thing that I believe, at least when I hear the story retold by people at the office, like for everyone, it made sense.
I've come to accept it. You know, it's
Because I feel like that's
It works. It works
said
well.
that, like, yeah, I hated it too at first, but it made sense. Or
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can totally tell someone's like, haha, we should call it this, haha, no one's ever gonna do that, and they're like, no, I like that. I've had that happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels bad.
Exactly.
But it is a catchy name. Like it is. Like people are like it's a good name. Yeah, it is. It is a good name.
I also
Like,
love how in the video right before you announced, or the E3 or whatever,
Yeah.
Jace made a video where he was explaining that we're not making Sanctum 3, which everybody was like, Sanctum 3? And in that video you said like, but I do believe that you will find whatever game we're working on to be satisfactory. So you announced the game before the game was announced.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I really like that one. Yeah. No, it's really old. It was before the first teaser trailer.
Yeah. I was really fucking sick that day too. So embarrassing that video. Yeah. I'm like straight up stoner eyes. Someone in the comments was like, someone called an ambulance. This one's about to pop.
Oh, that's so funny.
God damn it.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's just on our YouTube channel, like scroll down on our videos, you'll find
Yeah.
it.
It's one of the Q&As
Yeah.
where I look like I'm stoned out of my mind.
I mean, if it's
People-
before the first teaser, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
early last
Well,
year.
Yeah, I know it's before early last year. It's
Yeah,
like
it's-
2 years ago or something, almost.
2007, no, 18 now.
I think I think that video was for 17. No, wait.
Holy
It
shit.
was right before. No, it was 8.
It's got it. So, so the game came out in 2019, so it was then 2018. Yeah.
In September, I'm going to be a community manager for 3 years. So it was shortly after.
Yes.
That.
So 2018
Oh, right. Yeah, no, 2018.
was when the announcement was.
Right.
Because I started working 1 month before E3, and that was in February. And then the announcement was like in March, that for the teaser, and then in May, the actual
Just the
trailer.
reveal. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
a long time ago.
Yeah, cat. Yeah. It's thrown out of my mind for every video. Some people think that, but I don't smoke weed in Sweden.
I love that. I bet a lot of people just say it because 420.
Yeah, no, but I got like the dark rings, and then if I get red eyes, like when I get really tired or sick, my eyes get red. Yeah, it would be that one, cat.
Yep.
And Matthijs?
Matthijs. I'm assuming that's a Dutch name.
Yeah.
Looks like a Dutch name.
Looks like a Dutch name. Yeah.
We have a Sanctum fan in the house. Yes, yes.
Nice.
Sanctum. It's good.
Did you play Sanctum, Mr. Keen?
I have played at least a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got it in a bundle with a whole bunch of other games.
Nice.
Humble bundle or something?
Yeah, I think it was a humble bundle, and I got it with a whole bunch of other things. I was like, I'll try this out a little bit because, you know, I got to at least try a little bit of it. I know personally, if I could, you know, get on the good side of Jace, I would love to beta test his game. I promise I won't do anything with it.
Yeah, I'll do that. We can do that. But unfortunately, it's the kind of game that you can only test it once for me.
Oh, okay.
So I need to wait until things are a little bit more balanced as well, and then I can test it. You can test it for me.
Because like he won't show me jack shit.
No, because if I do,
Yeah.
like you have to just see it for the first time and play it.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only way you can do it.
Oh, so it's one of those, you know, the first experience is the best experience.
Yes. Yeah. That's. Yes. Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, we're down to 4 minutes, guys, left of this. I had a lot of fun. Anything else? Any other last ditch questions for everybody? I know it's very late for them. I think it gets
it's
up to
bedtime,
like 11 p.m. when we finish for you
Yeah,
guys.
it's 11 p.m. here.
Wait, 11 o'clock? Oh,
Boy.
okay. So good. I've been having fun, man. Time flies, you know?
So
Normally I'm in bed already.
Yeah.
So thank you again, guys, for coming in and doing this with me, and we'll have to do it again later. All three I find that all three of you guys at once is just more entertaining than anything else. But if I can't do it again, you know, one or two, just one of you is enough for me.
Yeah. You don't want the trifecta, the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I always
or
find that
you know,
all three of you is always the best because
even better, Simon as well.
Let's not
Simon.
get carried away here. All right.
I mean,
Simon
he'll
from
just
the
take one of us over, and then he's there, you know, in spirit, and then leaves the husk behind. Eventually.
Husk.
That would be.
Leaves the husk behind.
What is this copy that you're?
I'm not Simon. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Never been.
Well,
What do you guys use for your work? A computer?
Well, I have a question at the very, very end.
Yeah.
Who decided that you had to redo the power poles? I love the new design of the power poles, but what made you decide, hey, we should redo the look of the power poles to make them look like the wall?
I think the idea, not sure, because I was not part of that decision process. I only heard a little bit. But I think the idea was because the old power poles are pretty bulky. We wanted them to be a little sleeker so they fit between buildings a little better and wouldn't take as much space.
That makes
so
sense.
I think that was the idea.
That makes really good sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're down at the final mark.
Final minute.
Stretch.
The final minute. Thank you everyone who showed up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button for me. Maybe I can get as cool as SNUTT and get 1,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
If I can maybe make $1 or $2 at my hobby, which is playing these guys' awesome game.
There are a lot more videos on this channel than on mine. Saying.
Yeah, don't you have like? No, I haven't watched your latest one, which I feel bad.
I still haven't watched them either.
I have to watch it. I look forward to it. It came out.
Nice.
I've been so busy. I haven't done it yet, which I'm going to do very soon because I enjoyed the first two so immensely. But yeah, go to his and subscribe to him if you haven't done already, because maybe we can get him to 2,000 as well.
One more really important question. Why does Jason Hannah dress like almost the same in a lot of videos? Hannah?
We're basically the same person, like, obviously.
Obviously. Gay.
We are fellow fans of Played.
Yeah.
You can interpret
We
that.
are fans of Rachel Lambert and Life is Strange.
Yes, we are Canadian lumberjacks
Same
from
energy.
Canada.
As opposed to the other Canadian lumberjack
Yep.
From Utah.
from the Bahamas.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize.
Flannel power.
Yeah.
But the real reason is gay.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very happy. Okay, so
Very happy.
was I using the wrong definition?
No.
Sure.
We are very happy people. I mean, have you met Jace?
What?
Always happy, no matter what. Same as well. Like, I'm always happy, always.
I'm always laughing. I wouldn't say I'm always happy, but I'm definitely laughing.
It's amazing how the two people with the most annoying laughter is sitting right next to each other at the
Yeah, when those two are having fun, the whole office hears it.
Sorry, because we also sit up. Sorry, I know that this is supposed to end, but so Snut and I, we sit up next to each other on the second floor, and you can see in like my vlogs, you can see there's like everyone is downstairs through the windows, right?
Mhm.
So those windows do nothing to stop sound, and so when I laugh, my laugh is huge, right? And it just carries across the rest of the fucking office, and it just goes to and everyone. They got like
We all know when you're having fun. Yeah.
yeah, and you all got like your noise canceling headphones now. They suddenly started up.
But like Jace, even people in the fucking like Tim and Johanna fucking hears us when we. So it fucking goes.
It
through
just
the whole
echoes
building.
down.
Really? It gets
Yeah,
there as
dude.
well.
Yeah, Emilia's always like, yeah, we can hear you guys.
Oh, what?
I think it's because we laugh so high pitched.
Yeah.
But it's also fucking like it's intense, dude. We don't just fucking skip out on laugh day.
No, it's we didn't skip out on
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
okay.
anyway.
We have fun when you're having fun. We just laugh at you, not with you.
Well, I'll take it. That's my
No.
job, dude. That's my job.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I'm the cartoon character, everybody, and I'm like,
if
it's
we
like
can't laugh over the videos that we make or the content that we put out, like
Yeah.
it's gonna feel super like fake.
Yeah.
I think like we have to make each other laugh when we make stuff.
yeah. We laugh a lot when we make the videos.
For us, it's
Yeah,
like
you
a-
thought my laugh was the hellish one. Well, it's
No.
nothing compared to those two.
I think mine is like the loudest. Like
Yep.
mine.
Yep.
I think mine trumps yours a lot, Snut. When mine takes
No.
off, it goes out into the stratosphere.
No, I am not disputing that whatsoever.
Yeah,
I've also, but for the record, I've practiced to get my laughter down because when I went to like
Oh,
secondary school, it was way more high pitched and like way
Oh,
more
no.
obnoxious, and I practiced to get rid of it.
oh,
But it's coming back, man. Like,
it's coming back. All right, shall we?
sure.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, everyone say
I'm gonna go
goodbye.
sleep.
Wave.
Yeah, bye. Hopefully, video tomorrow. If not tomorrow, you're gonna get a really cool one next week.
Mhm.
Snut made it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye
Keanedom.
guys.